Welcome back to Buzzworthy. Today in the studio we have Jennifer Ageday and Michael Ageday, co-founders of CARIBB POP or CARIBB POP, whichever one we choose today, which is a really, really exciting new product that is really diving into holistic beverages that are available for us. And it comes from a really sweet story from Michael's background, but also really a passion for holistic and better options for us out here on the shelves. So welcome to the show today.
Thank you for having us.
It is very, very exciting, beyond the excitement of the product itself, but you were my very first married couple on the show. So, we'll get there, but before we even get there, what do you think set you up to be an entrepreneur?
Well, I did have my own business many years ago. And what actually pushed me to do it was circumstance. I was pretty much in a corner where I had to make a decision, and I was being encouraged by both Mike and my best friend at the time. You've got this, you need to jump all in. So I did. And based on that, I knew that we had the grit, to do it again. But it really was a matter of circumstance. I think a lot of people play with the ideas of being entrepreneurs, and sometimes it's just that one thing in life that really makes you take the leap.
And what was that story for you?
So it was right after we had our second daughter, so 21 years ago. And I was supposed to go back to work with childcare in place. And I am a director of education for a large-scale organization, one of the leading companies in Canada for child and family services and early years and childcare centers. And so I had our daughters both on the wait list to start. And 5 weeks before I was due back at work, I was told, "Oh, you didn't get the memo?" "What memo?" "Oh, we can no longer have children at the same location where you work." And I said, "Oh, well, that's new. Everybody before me did. So where have you placed them?" "Oh, well, we just took them off the list." "What?" So I was like, what are we going to do? We have no childcare. This is my field of expertise. So I'm not just going to put them anywhere. So I had a strong push from my best friend at the time and Mike to say, "Hey, you can do this." So I asked them, I said, "Give me a year leave of absence. Please hold my position. If it works out, I won't be back. But if it doesn't work out, I would like my position held." They said, "Okay." And I didn't go back for 10 years. Wow. Because it turned out really beneficial for us. I was able to have our daughters and service 5 other families at a time with quality childcare the same way we provided it in our larger centers. And it was very nice to be able to raise our daughters and be with them till they were of age to go to school by themselves. And then I re-entered the workforce.
That's amazing. It's great that entrepreneurship, I think, especially in today's world, give moms and families so many options, right? Because childcare is hard, and it is because even throughout the day, I don't have kids, but a lot of my friends have kids, to figure out where do they go before school actually starts, and then when school finishes and they're still at work, and then you have to get an after school program. So figuring that out often, like even monetarily it doesn't work out, and logistics, yeah.
Who's going to pick up?
Correct.
And the wait lists currently are, in a lot of cases, 2 years plus. Mm-hmm. So people are putting their children on the list when they find out they're pregnant in hopes they'll get a toddler spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is wild. That is wild. But really exciting that you kind of got your feet wet very, very early on, which circumstance does create that opportunity in a lot of times. And I think that's a lot of entrepreneurs' stories. How do you solve your own problem? That's right. Yeah. And how about yourself, Michael?
So for me, I've always wanted to be a businessman. That was my idea, suit, briefcase, go off and do something. I think for me, I prepared myself throughout the year. So I would always read business magazines, business newspapers. So I was collecting feedback or collecting information throughout the years. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until, so we started having children fairly young, right? And it wasn't until that they were a certain age that I decided to go back to school, became a holistic nutritionist, and that started my entrepreneurial journey. because right out of school, I started my own practice and part-time, and it kind of snowballed from there. And it led us to this point where, we started this company, and we just want to take it from there. Yeah.
It's great that you didn't find that it was too scary or you were too old or all of that to go into a new career that you're very excited and passionate about. That's amazing because I keep getting this reel of different people saying on social media where it's just like, the age you are today is the oldest you're ever going to be. So just like start today. So I'm glad you started. And that was almost 10 years ago, 2017, when you went back to school. And when you graduated.
When I graduated,
When you graduated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. When you graduated. And now years later, you're using that expertise to build a company.
Yeah. And there was, I'll tell you, there was so much to learn. There was like the things that I accumulated and learned over the years has somewhat prepared me for this new company. So this is such a learning curve for us. It's a great experience. Yeah.
What's the one thing you learned over the years so far that prepared you?
Geez.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Customers first. Not that the customer is always right, but you should always service or help a customer, or help someone in need. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good one because I'll tell you today, customer service.
Not so great.
So terrible. I mean, I can go off on a rant, but just a few months ago, my friend and I went to this place and we were clearly in line, hoping that somebody behind the desk would address us. And they just kept talking to each other. And I was just like, clearly we're in line.
Yeah.
We're here to spend money and you're not even talking to us. And
That's like a Pretty Woman scenario when she flashes the money and says, big mistake, right? Yeah, like that's, yeah, I know, but like they lose your service because they weren't inviting and they weren't welcoming and they didn't put you first.
Yeah. And that was a bummer. So I would say, especially today, I think since COVID, customer service has declined significantly, whether it's just a lack of the people who are doing customer service, which tend to be younger people. They just lacked a lot of those social skills that died in that piece of time. Maybe that's a symptom of that.
But then they need training.
Yeah.
Let's get them trained because, if you want the business, you should be providing the service. You should be providing the quality, whatever that unique thing that customer needs, making them feel that little extra bit special. It's really important.
It goes a long way. Yeah.
Yeah, we love talking to our customers at markets and events. We love talking to consumers, right?
We get to know a lot of them personally. We really enjoy them.
We'll actually stand, and we've been asked many times, would you like a chair? By an organizer, would you like a chair? And we're like, nope, we'll stand for 8 hours if we have to. Yes. Yeah. Just to kind of have that interaction, right? Be available to the customer at all times.
Yeah. So. I love that. And, one of the first things I mentioned was you guys are married. And, people always say doing business together is like getting married. And sometimes it's even a little bit harder. But now you've got a double whammy here.
Yes.
You're married for real. You're partners in life. And now you are building a business together. Yeah. What is that like?
I think our marriage, so we've been married for 26 years. We've been together for 33. And I think our marriage has prepared us for our entrepreneurial life and journey. And I think it's done it in a few ways. There are a lot of parallels. There are a lot of areas where you have to find which person's skills are the best skill set for the task, who has these, who's stronger in this area and who's stronger in that area, and delegate those accordingly. And it's the same in business. And it's also, there's a lot of naysayers and a lot of people who, we were young, we were 22 when we got married. And there was a lot of people either doubting, trying to tell us not to do it, or I think some little bit of jealousy. But, the naysayers, there's that in business too, and you have to learn how to put that aside and make your decisions. There's financial struggles. There's learning everything new. When you're first married, it doesn't come with a handbook. You got to figure it out together. We both came from single mothers. We never had a silver spoon in our mouth. We worked very hard to build what we built for our family. And so it's the same thing for our business. We don't have, these billion-dollar investors. No, it's you, me, and us. That's it, right? But the financial struggles, again, going back, then you go past that newlywed stage and you're having children. Oh my gosh, it's a whole new chapter. It's just like, now we're scaling. Oh my gosh, it's a whole new chapter. It's the same parallel. And I think if you keep in mind, we've gone through all these struggles, differences of opinion, but you still come back to, this is a person I love. They're not going to steer me wrong. Yeah. And that's my favorite person. I want to be with my favorite person. He's my best friend. And hope you feel the same. But the truth is, like I said, a lot of parallels. And I really think a long marriage has prepared us for the struggles and the tests and everything else that comes with entrepreneurship. But I will tell you one last thing, and I don't want to make the story too long, but I was asked a couple of months ago by a lovely young man who was getting married, and he said, gosh, you guys have been married so long, like, what's your advice? And I thought to myself, I've never been asked this before, but I have a piece for you. He said, okay. I said, go all in or not at all. Because if you only go half-assed, excuse my language, you will never know if your marriage fails. You will never know if it's because you didn't dedicate 100% of yourself. So go all in, all the way, or not at all. And I feel the same thing with business. I think you have to really put yourself out there, all in, and we are all in, right? Otherwise, what's it for?
Yeah. I think it's such good parallels. And one of the bigger things, just thematically, that I think our society is experiencing, especially when it comes to marriage, is the lack of commitment and the lack of wanting to go all in on anything. Everybody just wants this level of comfort and there's so much fear that drives every decision. And if fear is going to drive every decision of yours, you will never live a fulfilling life. That's right. And that's why I think entrepreneurs are so special in their own way, because they are living the best version of their own lives than anybody else could that's not willing to just go all in.
That's right.
Yeah, that's really good. What are your takes on being married and, the day-to-day of entrepreneurship? How does that affect you, Michael?
I think it's been interesting. So there's two sides. Like, we have great days and we have not so great days, right? We have disagreements. We bump heads at times, and at times we work very well together. And I think it's the same thing in our marriage, right? Like, business and marriage is almost the same thing. Jennifer's great at certain things that I'm not good at, and vice versa, right? So we each play a role within our marriage and business. And honestly, I needed her. When this company started, I needed her. I needed her brain. I needed that other side of her that I can't fulfill. But for me, it's been a great experience, and honestly, I look forward to a lot more. So and I wouldn't choose any other thing to do. I would choose marriage, and I would choose business all over again.
I love that. This is great because, your kids now are both in their 20s, and now you've got a new baby called CARIBB POP to start all over with.
Oh, yeah. the tired, sleepless nights and the early starts in the morning. Yes, all of that.
You know what? I try to tell my friends it's the same thing as them raising their kids, and they don't believe me. But but I'm so glad you're validating me. I hope you heard that. I hope you heard
Or
it.
even a new puppy. You're up how many times during the night to let them out, right? It's the same.
Well, business-wise, we're not up at night, but
Well,
you know what? Racing thoughts actually keeps like yeah, like
it doesn't matter what it is.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
You're lying in bed and you're just getting cozy. Or I should say, I'm lying in bed. We're lying in bed. I'm just getting cozy. I'm ready to fall asleep. And he's like, and you know what I was thinking about? Such and such, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. But I can't turn it off because he's having this amazing brainwave and I need to hear him out. And then afterwards, I'm like, okay, can we write that down and go to sleep? But the truth is, he can't shut it off sometimes. And sometimes it's opposite.
I can to if I'm very intentional with sleep, right? I focus on sleep and self-care quite a bit. But at times I just can't shut off my brain, especially if I'm working on something, right? A new flavor or some sort of idea. Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
It's the excitement. That's just what it is. It's just
He's so passionate about his work, and it's an amazing thing to observe. And so that is part of it, not being able to shut off his brain.
Or even supporting my clients, right? Like, you know, there's some clients that keep me up, you know, and I want, you know, I want my clients to succeed. So, so at times my brain is just going.
yeah. No, everything you both said about marriage and business and the parallels between them are so strong, and just growing a family as well too. They're both so tightly linked together, and you're right. Often people miss the parallels between very similar things because they don't have the same title or they aren't directly linked, but it's the lesson underneath it that you can transplant from one situation to another situation. And so that's where, you know, every experience that anybody has becomes so valuable because it's the underlying lesson and not the title or the thing that you have done. Yeah.
If you can take that skill and then you apply it in another way. Yeah, that's amazing that you gave that advice. I really like that advice.
Yeah. It's just kind of how I live my life, you know? And that's why, in a lot of ways, I think people think I'm a very confident person, and I am. And it's simply because I don't label anything. I look for the lessons, I look for the parallels, I look for the learnings, and new environments don't scare me because I always have something to draw on. That's great. Yeah. And so with that, let's get to the real origin of CARIBB POP. How did it come about? What's the story here?
So I was working at a supermarket, right, in my profession as a holistic nutritionist, and at the time I was thinking about coming out with some sort of a product, right? I wanted something drinkable, right? Whether it was going to be a supplement or something else that was drinkable, and it was a bad situation at the supermarket. But I remember looking up and realizing in their health department all these drinks that are functional beverages kind of were all repetitive. They were all the same. So, you know, flavor-wise. And I wanted to offer something different. And that's what kind of sparked the whole idea of the, you know, tropical Caribbean flavors with the functional benefits of the fiber. And, you know, I went home and I shared my idea with Jenny. And
it's always been a huge part of the field, the sector that I'm in, is a sense of belonging and cultural representation. And I'm like, you have got it. If there is no representation, we're going to bring representation. And and for everybody. Right? Because everybody can enjoy it. But it has to be an option in order for you to be able to choose, you know, to enjoy it.
I married a few things, so I had a couple ideas in my head, or these things came together and so harmoniously. And, you know, one was cultural representation, two was different flavors, the other one was my grandmother, right? When I was younger, my grandmother used to send me to the pharmacist for her needles. So I didn't realize what diabetes was then, but I realized what it was later on in life. So my grandmother was diabetic, and you know, she passed with several things that are actually correlated. So you know, she had dementia, she was diabetic, and she had 2 strokes. So you know, in the whole holistic field, they're all connected, right? And you know, we could look back at sugar, and we could look back at diet and poor gut health in relation to those conditions. So yeah, I wanted to offer something that was a better for you option that my grandmother could have had. So that's where it all started.
Other family members and clients as well, a lot, and my mother included too. A lot of sugar. My mom loves it. She's diabetic. His aunt, she's in her 80s. If I don't come by, Jenny, where's my pop? I'm like, okay.
And she's able to drink it. So yeah, you know, we're very fortunate that that we have all these other people who can have it.
Yeah, that is a game changer because I'll tell you, last weekend, I actually hosted a paint night at my house, and everybody that was there, everyone's like, nobody drinks pop, nobody drinks juice, everything just has too much sugar. I'm the only person there that would have drank wine, and so I didn't want to drink wine by myself. And you know, something like CARIBB POP would have been a great substitute because it wasn't just sparkling water. It did have a little flavor and jazz to it, without, you know, alternative sweeteners that aren't great for you. And that is what I think would have been really great because overall, not just people that have diabetes or people overall, I think are just sugar conscious today. Yeah, and overall, yeah, absolutely. And so I think I think innovation and timing and everything colliding at the right time is often where these opportunities live, right? And so you're really like nailing a really great time to bring this all together. Thank you. Mm-hmm. When you think about, you know, all of those elements that, you know, CARIBB POP has, which are the solution to the alternative solution to a regular conventional soda that's high in sugar, carbonated. That's it.
I add a lot of unnecessary or fake ingredients. Like we don't add colors or clarifiers. You get what you get when it's mixed. That's it. Yeah. But yeah, our intention has always been to choose the best quality ingredients that we can and organic where possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And one of the big things is from like a sweetener perspective, you do use organic cane sugar. And what a lot of people don't know is people often travel to Mexico and they're like, why is the pop so much better in Mexico than it is here? And it's literally because they use real cane sugar. And not to say that pop in Mexico is an alternative or competitor to your product, but it's just how you can see how people gravitate towards natural, good products. Like our body knows what's good for us.
And it knows how to use it. Mm-hmm. It knows how to process real sugar. Yeah. It doesn't always know what to do with fake sugars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so from a holistic perspective, take us through the core things that make CARIBB POP special. So the number one thing is the 4 grams of fiber.
Yes.
Why is fiber so important for us?
So fiber is extremely important because like it feeds the microbes, right? It feeds the colony that we already currently have. And from that colony makes postbiotics, right? In addition to fiber supports metabolism, it supports overall gut health, right? Like there's so many things. Like the spectrum is so broad. It's just hard to quantify. But yeah, we need fiber in our diets.
Yeah, and fiber comes from plants, right? Yes. And it's kind of, fiber is the insoluble part of the plant that we eat and digest. And what's helping break down a lot of the food that we have are, when you say microbes, those are just like good bacteria that lives in our intestinal tracts, right? And that good bacteria needs to be fed. And often with sugary products, no fiber products, you don't get that. And when we think about the average North American, because we're in Canada here, when we think about the average North American that's eating the standard Western diet, how much fiber does the average person get, would you say?
I would imagine probably 10 to 12 grams of fiber per day. And that also depends on, the neighborhood that you live in. That depends on your income. That depends on so many other variables, So I would imagine 10 to 12 grams of fiber.
And what should be our target?
I would say 25 to 30. If you can go higher, that's great. But the aim for 25 to 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grams per day.
Per day.
Per day.
Per day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I wish we had bowls of broccoli and lettuce to show what that actually could look like. Yeah. But that's a lot of fiber for people today to get into their diet. So adding, 4 grams, which one of these cans actually come with 4 grams of fiber in it, that creates an opportunity for people to boost their fiber intake just a little bit. And, people don't love talking about it, but like fiber helps you poop, and regular movements in your body, that all comes from fiber. Yeah. And so, not to say this is the solution for constipation,
but it's a fun way to get some support, right? And a tasty way to get some support.
Yeah. So when we talk about, the other thing you mentioned was postbiotics, but I know a lot of people know more about probiotics and maybe now prebiotics. So let's break this down for the people. So what are prebiotics?
So prebiotics are the fiber that we cannot digest, right? So our microbes take that, they ferment it, break it down, and they utilize that to create energy.
Mm-hmm. And that's not just energy, but things like, short chain fatty acids.
Yes. Butyrate and so many other things that supports colonic health, yes. Right? And overall health, yeah, mental health, yes, yeah.
Wow, you've done your research.
Yeah. This is my nightly Google search. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a naturopath for about 7 years, so I know. I ask all the questions. The medical system just has never been able to help me personally. And my life has changed dramatically, moving everything to sort of just like what people would consider alternative health. So acupuncture, natural supplements, and ever since 2017, when I got really ill out of nowhere, and I was on antibiotics for almost an entire month, I have never, that was the moment that marked all of the challenges that came after the fact, because I had none of those, nothing significant. And that was the moment when I really had to spend time understanding health, what's good for me, all of that. And so, yeah, all of that just funnels right into this conversation. Mm-hmm. So even when we think about, postbiotics, which are those short-chain fatty acids, that's ultimately what things like Ozempic are creating, right? The GLP-1s out there, they're supporting these short-chain fatty acids that give people the results that they're looking for when your body naturally actually does this itself if it has the right colony of bacteria within it. So it's really, really exciting to see that, no one's really in this space where they're really attacking the fundamentals of it. Like, how do we allow our bodies to use what it already has to be better at it?
And support that as much as possible.
I'm very big on digestive health, right? So from mouth to rectum. It's been a study of mine. Like I'm 100% invested in digestive health.
Yeah. What's the number one thing, as a holistic practitioner, from a digestive perspective, do you see people coming in to you for?
So it's bloating. I would say it's bloating. It's the inability also to lose weight, right? Those are the primary things that I see.
Yeah. And how is, like, from a digestive perspective, and even from a fiber perspective, how can fiber help things like bloating and weight loss?
So one of the things that that fiber does, one, it lowers inflammation, right? So it lowers inflammation in the intestines. In addition to that, it's a binder, right? And it's not often talked about. So any one of my clients who once I put them on a program, it's typically high fiber. So it's going to bind to things and allow it to be eliminated the right way. So those are a couple of the things. Also, high fiber diets can lower your glycemic index, meaning it can lower your blood sugar, right? So, having fiber with every meal is very beneficial to weight management. That's.
It's true. Get your fiber in. I think it's fantastic because the only other, I didn't do a ton of research, full disclaimer, but the only other product I can think that's really fiber forward is Metamucil.
Which most people take with orange juice, which is sugar. But yes, you're right.
Metamucil is flavored, pardon me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say typically flavored, but it is flavored.
It is flavored, yeah. It doesn't taste great. I'll say that. You don't have to.
Sometimes it's required.
Yeah. 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 No, it absolutely. It's everything has its place. Which we've got a little scale here. And we've got some white powder. And maybe somebody can actually guess what this is. I'll see if you can guess what this is. I'll take some out. And I think you'll know what it is right away. What do you think this is?
It's probably inulin fiber.
Absolutely.
Very good.
So I'll just show everyone. So I don't know if you can see it, but this is inulin, which is actually the fiber that is the fiber you use in CARIBB POP.
Correct.
This thing is amazing. I'll personally tell you. I brought it out of my cupboard.
Awesome. Very good.
It's so great. I only actually came across it about a year ago. There are other fibers that I was using, but this specific one, I felt results actually quite quickly. Yes. And it's got a little bit of sweetness to it, which I also, who doesn't love a little bit of sweetness? But it's just like, this is 5 grams on a scale, which yours only has a gram left. And that's a lot of fiber inside of these cans. And for the average person, it's almost half of what they're already consuming today. So with one of these cans, they can actually
Get closer.
almost, get so much closer to that 20 mark than being just at 10. Yeah. And if they pair an apple with it a day, bam, I've hit my fiber target like that.
That's right.
That's huge. Yeah, I love that.
I love that you brought that. This is so great. Thank you so much.
The other thing, like we're very big on this. Like we consume a lot of fiber. We tell our girls to consume a lot of fiber. You can sprout microgreens. You can do so many things.
Microgreens are great.
Yeah, you can do this at home, right? You can sprout in jars and other things. Yeah, so you can increase your daily fiber by so much more, and it only costs just a little amount of money, right? And then you add something like this with flavor, and you've got your.
You're good to go. Yeah, that's awesome. So in the journey of creating CARIBB POP, we understand the benefits. At least I understand the benefits, and I hope you understand the benefits. But where do we see CARIBB POP going? Where do we want CARIBB POP to be in the future?
You can answer that. I will just put in a little tidbit. The immediate future, we're going to be bringing out another flavor very soon. So that's all I wanted to add, the little excitement of a new flavor coming out in the immediate future. But long term?
Long term, we're going to move into a smaller can, the standard 355 ml can. Outside of that, we'll work with B2B, like business owners will, try to get onto store shelves.
We want to make it accessible to more people, a greater population, and with scaling, we hope to bring down cost as well. It's not inexpensive to purchase ingredients. It is expensive to purchase quality ingredients, but we're hoping with our next move that we'll be able to bring that down a little, make it more affordable, as well as more readily available for a wider audience. But we are Hamiltonians, so it's Hamilton first. Yeah. And so we've got to dig deep roots in Hamilton first, and then we'll spread out. Everybody to be able to have that little indulgence, that's something that is either nostalgic in flavor or reminiscent or just goes really great with your food, or that little pick-me-up, the 3 o'clock lull, whatever it might be. But we want everybody to be able to indulge and have that little treat without the guilt, without the potential, damage of something that's high in sugar if you're diabetic. We want them to be able to enjoy, indulge, have a treat like everybody else, participate, family occasions. Everybody should have one in their hand, leave nobody out. Yeah.
So, we want to see this in the hands of diabetics. We want to see this in the hands of, anyone who practices some type of wellness routine, from, Pilates to yogis to you name it. Yeah.
I mean, even in your days of competition, because Mike was a drug-free bodybuilder, and even in his competition days, everything was so strict and so diligent. And it would be nice, if his cheat could have been a CARIBB POP if it was available then. But, it would be nice for everybody to be able. There's so many people who could enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. This has been incredible learning about the product. Having you, Mike, as, the holistic mind behind this, I think brings so much validation to the product itself, and knowing that it's, this backstory of your grandmother, and then now it's your career, and it's like all the moments of your life building up to this one moment where you're solving this problem for so many people beyond just the immediate ones that were around you, but also the moment where you were just looking at the shelf going, well, that's all the options. Getting to something better, and it's really, really exciting. I did get an opportunity to taste CARIBB POP, and the tropical punch is definitely my favorite.
That's cool. Everybody has a different palate. So you're a tropical punch girl.
Yes.
I'm a guava girl.
Okay.
Guys. So yeah, it's all the way around.
All the way around. Yeah. It's just yeah, it makes me happy because now I don't have to sweat about, you know, having that guilt, you were talking about having the guilt of being like, "Oh, I'll just drink," because this is what I used to do. I'll open a can of ginger ale and I'll pour a little bit in a cup, and to make sure I don't drink the rest of it, I just pour it down the sink. Yeah. Because otherwise, it's next to you, you're just going to refill, right? That's what you do. And so, this being guilt free,
Yeah, I hear you. I used to actually do the same thing, except I would add water to my ginger ale to make it a bigger glass full just to get the flavor. But yeah, for many years, I was very hooked on conventional soda. And you can be reformed. I'm living proof. It's CARIBB POP for me. And that's what we want to do. We want to be able to offer that better for you option so that people have, they can make their choice. Yeah, definitely.
these are the choices I make every day. You can ask any of my friends, any of my family, like they know. Everybody knows my health choices, and I've had to reinforce them year over year over year. And now everybody knows, and I'm excited to, let them know that I have an alternative now. Yeah. Amazing. So, in this entrepreneurial journey, there's obviously we learn a lot about, and there are 3 questions we love to have our entrepreneurs reflect on. What is the biggest thing you have learned in building CARIBB POP so far?
Just do it. I think just do it. Just jump in. Because, and we had an advisor earlier on, and we were so hesitant. I want to give him a shout out, but.
Give him a shout out.
Yeah.
Good mentors go a long way.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of
Michael from Nerpies. Yep. And we were in a conversation with him, and he was one of our first mentors. And we said, well, we don't have are we ready? He goes, just do it. What are you waiting for? Well, what if this, what if this, he goes, you won't know until you do it. Just do it. And we were like, you know what? And every time I see him since then, I have to say, and we won't forget where we came from. We're the type of people, we remember where we came from and who was there. And we always say, you made us do it. You just said, just do it.
And by the way, his name is Michael. And his company is Nerpies. And he makes a lot of hot sauces. And he's moving into some incredible. It's moving into some incredible spaces.
Michael, you're welcome to come on the show. Yes, this is an official invite.
But yeah, it's jump in. At the same time, I was learning from someone else in marketing, and I learned go to market. Just go to market, right? And it's an old term, right? You go to market, you sell your product, and you get feedback.
The market will tell you.
The market will tell you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll say there's a lot of Irish terms, and I'll just pick 2. One is my grandmother, Lord rest her soul, and my mother has always said, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? So you have to do it. And the other one is what's meant for you won't pass you by. So I think how you described it, Mike's whole journey here from, being in the bodybuilding industry, and then from that becoming a holistic nutritionist and always wanting to be a businessman, and then seeing a need on the shelf. I think it was preparing him, plus our marriage, because it ain't been easy, but it's been enjoyable. And then I think that has all prepared the whole way. So yeah, what's meant for you won't pass you by.
100%. Yeah. Those are both really great answers.
Thank you. I can't take credit. I'm just an Irish girl.
What is the one thing you are leaving behind, though, in this journey? Something that you are just like, no more of this. It can stay in the past.
For me, it's the realization that I can't do this by myself, right? It takes a community, it takes a team, and while we're the upfront team, I've had a lot of great support: Empowerment Squared, Swobin, Innovation Factory, BizSkills, Foodpreneur Lab. Like, these people have been incredible, and they've been they've been behind me, they've been pushing me. So I think the whole idea of like that I can't do this by myself, right? And I look forward to working with these people and collaborating with them in the future.
Yeah. So the one thing you are leaving behind is the mindset that you're going to do it by yourself.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
No. I totally got it. I
sorry.
totally
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
No worries. What about you, Jen?
I'm leaving behind that self-doubt as well as the naysayers. I grew up thinking you have to listen to other people, do what you're told, be mindful. It's a whole thing of respect in our culture. Listen to your elders, this and that. And it's not that they are steering you the wrong way. It's that they think that they know. But sometimes you just have to push past all of that information or those opinions and just go for it. And again, he's never steered me wrong. We've always been on the same path and been able to accomplish whatever the task was, no matter how big it was. So I think what I'm leaving behind is the opinions of others that does not service me to progress and to move forward. Judgment. Yeah. And that's hard. It's a guilt-filled situation sometimes, but you have to bring your mind around it and let go of the judgment. Yeah. I will say we have had an amazing, we have been part of an amazing community. From everyone that the aforementioned that Mike has listed, as well as Black-owned Hamilton, just such amazing community of people. You included. Yes. And we are just so grateful. And if we can continue on that path and be able to service community, what I want to see for CARIBB POP is to get to that level where we can turn around and tenfold return that, to community with support and empowerment and progress.
And you will. You will. It just all takes time. Yeah. Those are really great answers. And our final question is, what are you taking into the future with you?
Empowerment. For me, it's empowerment. It's the confidence in knowing that I can achieve things. I can achieve so much more, right? So I'm empowered to do more, to create more, to build bigger, right?
It's been a huge learning curve too, right? And so to take that feeling, like you said, that confidence with you to say, okay, well, when we don't know how to do something, we're going to get through, we're going to look it up, we're going to research the heck out of it. Mike's an amazing researcher. We're going to, figure it out, just to have that confidence. So yeah, the confidence and the know that we can, we're doing it, we can. So yeah.
Yeah. And we're set on, the community that we want to support, the community that we want to have our drinks in. We're set on this one vision, this one goal. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to, and that we look forward to.
Yeah, make a huge change. Make an audacious move, a bold change that benefits community and everyone at large. Yeah.
That's exciting. I can feel the passion. I can taste the passion. And I'm very excited for what the future has for you. The world is your oyster. You'll do it.
And vice versa.
You'll do it.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us today. We really appreciate the opportunity.
It's been great chatting with you. Yeah, it's really great. Well, that's it, and we'll see you next week for another episode.